let's talk about algae. Some people love it, some people hate it. All right, let's talk a little bit about it. It's actually a very interesting subject that I've become more interested in recently since I added this algae scrubber to my tank. Well, let's talk about that. You tell me what you think below. I started doing some research after I added this algae scrubber from Santa Monica Filtration. They had some pretty interesting comments in the brochure that came with the algae scrubber, talking about how algae is the natural filtration used in nature. And I just started thinking about that, and I decided to just start reading up on it. And algae is actually a pretty fascinating subject. Me personally, I like a little algae. I mean, you can see here in the rocks, there's some algae that's developing in the nooks and crannies there in the crevices. And that algae is consumed by the bristlenose pleco that lives in this tank that you see from time to time. You've certainly seen some pictures of him on Instagram. He likes to hide, and he's probably hanging behind one of these rocks right now. At any rate, that algae, certainly I don't like algae on the front glass. And with a window in the room I have the tank in, yes, I do get algae on the front glass pretty normally, but that should start reducing as the algae scrubber starts to consume a lot of the nutrients that algae needs. However, what algae does is it reduces nitrates in a tank like plants do. It also adds oxygen and removes carbon dioxide, CO2. So it essentially does what breaking surface agitation, what breaking the surface with agitation does. It allows, we do that, or I do it, to allow CO2 to escape and allow oxygen to come in. I also move water that is low in the tank and lower in oxygen up through the intakes, which I keep relatively low in the tank, and it goes out and becomes oxygenated by becoming part of surface tension breakup. So I'm constantly adding oxygen to the tank that way. But algae will add oxygen to your tank. It'll reduce nitrates, and it will reduce CO2. Those are all very, very good things. So don't be so quick to scrub everything down. That's my opinion. A little algae behind the rocks, a little algae on your decor is not necessarily a bad thing. It is doing a good job. As a matter of fact, somebody who posts comments on my videos mentioned that one of the tips he uses when he cycles his tank is when he sees algae, he knows the tank is ready to go, because that means the tank can sustain life. So algae is not a bad thing. So put that scrubber down. Don't be quite as vigorous. I think your fish will thank you. It does do a good thing to the tank. Okay? Those are my 2 cents on algae. Certainly do your own research on it. Let's take a little look here at the fish. Here's the Fusco, looking pretty nice. There's the polystigma, followed by the living stony. Here's the Eureka. The old man. One of the first cichlids I purchased, he was about 1/2 inch when I decided to go from discus to cichlids. I'm still waiting for my sand diver to color up. It could be a long wait. Bucochromis, looking beautiful. Bucochromis notitania. There's the bad boy in the tank. The otter point. He tries to bully fish that are smaller or the same size as him. He doesn't pick on the bigger boys, and he certainly doesn't touch the tank boss, the intermediates. So that's it on algae. I hope you found that interesting as I've found the subject of algae. This whole Santa Monica filtration algae scrubber project that I've got going on has me thinking about algae and its properties and what it does in a tank, and it's not that bad. It's actually good stuff. And certainly I'm not suggesting that you allow an algae bloom to take over your tank or that you have green water or something, but certainly a little bit of it is not a bad idea. If you can control it, like inside of the scrubber that I currently have installed, if you can control an algae bloom that way and let it do its magic, it's a pretty cool thing, okay? So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As always, you know that. And if you want to subscribe, click on the logo that I'm going to put up here. And certainly feel free to come on by the Facebook page, ben.o.cichlid, and follow on Instagram, ben.o.cichlid, and where I'm posting all kinds of nonsense, usually every day, okay? All right, thank you so much, friend. I appreciate you stopping by, and I also appreciate the support that you give to the channel, which has grown quite nicely over the last couple months, and I am noticing you folks really do rock, okay? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.